Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome to another episode of Nufftingz Speaks with your host, Nufftingz. So we're gonna unpack a lot of stuff today. I want to talk about this channel and what I've seen over the last year. This channel's been up for a little bit longer, like I don't know, a year and some change. But I want to talk about like what I've seen over the last year. Now, if you want to get some information, this is the video for it. There's no bull crap going, no bull jive. It's going to be straight up, my opinions on what I've been seeing, right? So, over this channel, over the life of this channel, over the last year, we've talked about a lot of topics and, Pokemon Go, True Achievements, Dr. Umar Johnson, Hulk Hogan, um, there's a lot of things, and I'm talking about the ones that got, feedback, not just the ones that got like 50 views and no comments. I'm talking about the ones that got comments, right? And a lot of engagement. So one of the things that I've learned is that people talk a lot and people have very strong opinions on things. And whenever you disagree, it always ends up with people, being rude and disrespectful and whatever. So for instance, why I'm even doing this video is because I was in a gaming session on True Achievements. I've been doing them again for like last 3 or 4 days, right? And I've been getting into some groups where they know me from years ago. Oh yeah, I remember you in a gaming session with me back in 2011 or whatever. Or you'll get the ones that go, oh, I've seen your name on YouTube, hating on Pokemon or whatever, right? Now, one of the things that happens, like then we start talking, right? Like we're on party chat and we're talking, and I'll ask people questions like, about Pokemon Go, for instance, and we'll talk about, you know, what do I consider gamers in Microsoft and, guys that play games like that, what do they think of Pokemon Go players, right? And it's like that one question I asked in one of those videos. Are Pokemon Go players actual gamers? And of course, Pokemon Go players say, oh yeah, we're gamers. But you see, when you talk to people that play Gears, Halo, things like that, Pokemon Go players aren't gamers to them, right? So it gets to one of those things where we're talking and then you're getting the opinions of these people, right? And I've talked to a good amount and they all say the same thing. Pokemon Go players aren't gamers. Now, are they right? I don't know. Are they wrong? Still don't know. What I'm saying is that's their opinion and that's what they're thinking. Like, you cannot tell people your opinion is wrong like that. You know what I'm saying? If your opinion is your opinion, I mean, you can tell people they're wrong, but it's like, if my opinion is, if it goes by what I've seen, right? So it even goes back to things like, okay, I was in the Pokemon Go community, and I believe that Pokemon Go players aren't real gamers. They're just casual gamers, right? That's my opinion being in the community. Now, someone else could not be in the community and have the same opinion, right? Does that make them less right or less wrong? I don't think so. It's just an opinion to me. It's like me. I was in the community, but am I wrong or am I right? That's for you to figure out for yourself, and it's just my opinion. And that's the issue. People can't have opinions without getting crapped on. I can't swear because it's YouTube, but like I would be swearing. But it's like, okay, could Pokemon Go players say that people that play Gears, Halo, Fable, those are my three favorite, Resident Evil, all that, could they say they're not gamers? I mean, they could, but, in our world, they'd be wrong, right? Okay. But, it's one of those things where people want to make their game look more superior than the other one. And at the end of the day, when it comes to Pokemon Go, it is a mobile game. So people that don't play mobile games like that are going to always say the opposite. Like, nah, bro, we play real games. We're on PC, we're on console, we're doing whatever, right? Even our cloud games run better than Pokemon Go. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, there's so many mobile games you could play besides Pokemon Go, right? And I mean, some of them are really good. right? But those games, some of those games that we play, like if you're talking about Zuma and all that, or Candy Crush, are those really gamer games? I don't know. But, games like Destiny on mobile and all that, would that be considered a gamer's game? Honestly, to me, it should be. It's a shooter. It's the same thing. It's just on a phone. But when you play a game like Pokemon Go, do you consider that a gamer game, or do you consider Pokemon mainline games? Like Poketopia, would that be a gamer's game? I don't know, right? It really goes by what you think, right? But we should have conversations stating our views instead of just be like, well, you know what? You're wrong. You're an idiot. Like, and that's what I see all the time. It's like, but it's people's opinion. Like, why are we getting mad at an opinion? Just have a conversation like grown folks and be done with it. So and going back to, I haven't got off this yet, but going on to more of the Pokemon Go thing, right? I've gotten comments about Pokemon Go, and I've gotten mixed comments when it comes to what my state is, what I think of it, and whatever. And look, my opinion doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, from what I've seen, I see a company just out for your money, right? And I also see that the people that play Pokemon Go, that do raids and all that, are they really that good? And I'm talking about these big time, YouTubers, content creators that go to like Go Fest and all that, like 5 of them every year, um, go to different locations, do all this stuff. Like, I mean, okay, like the top dude, I'm not going to say his name, the one that was the first ever level 50. This guy could do 900 raids for one Pokemon over the weekend, right? 900, right? Nonstop. And then gets 20 hundos, 10 shundos, right? And then everyone's like, yo, man, yo, you're the GOAT. But how does that make them the GOAT? Like, tell me, like, in the comments, tell me, how does that make someone the GOAT? When I was gaming before, even now, what would be regarded as a GOAT back then? When you were Jesus at Gears. Like, if you played a Gears game and you could be the last surviving member on a team and just wipe out the other team, right? You roll everywhere, you dodge everything, you do all that, right? Wouldn't that give you GOAT status? Wall jump, wall bounce, not wall jump, wall bounce and all that. That would give you GOAT status, right? Like there's a streamer I follow now. He's a Filipino dude, right? And he does all of this Nintendo stuff, and really nice guy. He does like these like little skits, and he'll like slap the phone and all that. Can't remember his name, but he pops up on my feed all the time. This guy beat Res 9. Was it Res 9? The new one? Recream or whatever it was called. And he beat it in like 2 hours on the hardest difficulty. Just ran through it. Apparently he didn't even have unlimited ammo on or any of that. I mean, that's GOAT status. Like things like that to me are GOAT status. If you do 900 raids and get a whole bunch of hundos and stuff in Pokemon Go, that just means you got more money. Like if I spent, okay, some of these guys spend like 20 grand a month on Pokemon Go. If I spent 20 grand a month on Halo, it wouldn't make me better at the game. I just get a whole bunch of cosmetics. Do you see my point here? It's like if I do 5 raids and someone else does 100 and they get more hundos than me, right? Does that mean they're better than me, or does that mean they just had more time, more passes, more money? You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, what is GOAT status? Like, what is the definition of being the GOAT at a game? You were the first to get to level 50. Like if you're playing Gears where you have to play nonstop and you gotta grind and you gotta be the best in every game to level up to 100 first and then re-up, or same thing with Halo, or you get the most. Remember, was it Halo Reach where they had like those extremely gangster cosmetics, like helmets and all that you could only get if you were Jesus at the game? That's GOAT status. You know what I'm saying? I had a dude that I knew that was a big time Halo player, right? Came over to my house one day and just went into a lobby and just destroyed everybody. And I was like, damn, bro, like you great. And he was like, bro, I'm not even close to the best. He's like, dude, I go to tournaments and these guys wipe me out. And I was like, yo, to me, that's GOAT status. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, yo, you spending more money on the game doesn't give you some kind of thing. Like, you get more hundos, right? But I remember some dudes would have to get like 6 hundos of Rayquaza because they wanted a team of Rayquaza. Like, to me, it's like it's just more time in. It's not like you were the greatest and you did it quicker. Like you just got to spend more money. I don't know, man. See, I'm getting a little bit messed up on it because to me it's so silly that we consider more money spending GOAT status. So, in other words, you can't be broke and be good at the game because you ain't spending money like that. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, whatever. So, you see these guys and they do 1,000 raids and they do better than the person that did five. You know what I'm saying? And then they start to compare and say, well, mine is better because I did so many more and I got so many more of this good Pokemon. It's like, is that really good? Now, mind you, when you run through a mainline Pokemon game and you go into like, I mean, the PvP thing in Pokemon Go, I guess you could talk about that too. But I'm talking more about money spending. Now, when you play a mainline game and you go hunting for perfects and hunting for shinies and all that, I would give that more praise to give you a GOAT status than playing Pokemon Go. Seriously. Or, you beating the game with a level 1 Rattata. Like things like that, I would consider that to be more GOAT status. Anyways, moving on. So that's the Pokemon Go part, or the gaming part. So in conclusion with that, it's like, yo, look, I be in these lobbies and they're all about, being Jesus at the game, being, they're excited for the new Halo. They're excited for the new Gears E-Day. When I say the new Halo, they're excited for that remake that looks phenomenal. Oh my gosh, that game looks great. And those to me are like the gamers, the goats, the guys that can play a game and be the greatest at it, and they'll play a game over and over and over again on different accounts just to max it out so they can do the achievements over and over and over again and just be legit good. Those to me are goats. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Now, going on to other things that happens on my channel, like for when I have when I have, how do I say this properly? When I have opinions on Dr. Umar Johnson for you know, for an example, right? Dr. Umar Johnson, I always felt was trying to bring, hate into the equation, you know, and I never agreed with it, right? But then I would get comments saying, well, you're not black enough. You shouldn't have an opinion on it because you're not black. You don't know how we do. And I'm thinking like, bro, I'm actually black. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not as dark as you. I don't have the hair like you, but I'm black. So, I mean, look, man, I don't need to explain who I am, what I am, but I'll tell you, I've been in the same struggles as a lot of, of our people. Maybe not as many, but like the fact that they'll even say Jamaicans aren't really black people, it's like, yeah, go tell it to some of those African Jamaicans, like that will take serious offense to that. Like, why is it that people feel like you're not black enough if you're not African American? Like, you're not black enough. Like, oh no, you're Jamaican, but you're black, but you're not black enough. Like, dude, that doesn't make any sense. So I would get a lot of comments from our people. Well, my people. I mean, if you're black listening to this, and you're going to say it's your people too, right? But they would be like, oh, well, you're talking about something you know nothing about. And they'd be like just calling me all types of racial names and stuff. And I'm like, and you see, that's the problem. So no one can have an opinion that goes against your own. without getting hit with hate. So me and you can't sit there and have a drink and have a conversation without you throwing racist stuff at me, with hate. I'm not allowed to speak on something. Like, I can't speak on other cultures because I'm not part of that culture, right? I could only say what I've seen. I could talk about Filipinos to a point because I had kids with a Filipino. I was around their family all the time. I understand. I understand their way of doing it, but that's not me generalizing the whole race, the whole community, because that doesn't make any sense. But when you grow up with black parents, black cousins, black uncles, like everyone is black, right? Wouldn't you have an opinion on that? Because when you're around your own people, you're going to be around friends of your own people that are the same color as you, and you get more opinions of your race because you are around those people, right? It's like I'm not around other races as much as I'm around my own. So I would have more an opinion on my own than I would on anybody else's, right? But it wasn't like I was saying like the dude is wrong. I said Dr. Umar Johnson had the right idea, but he was saying it in a way to spew hate. Now, there were people that did comment and say, yeah, you're right, because he is just causing more conflicts. And one of the things I've learned from my mom and my grandma and my great grandma and all of them is that we have sayings in Jamaica, right? And it's like, you know, they hold the handle, you hold the blade. And if they pull, you get cut, right? Things like that I live by, because it's like, okay, what Dr. Umar Johnson is saying is right, but why do we fight back with violence and with hate? Like, I didn't like the fact that he was calling white women snow bunny. That's racist. But how come you're allowed to say it and people are like, oh yeah, that's right. But then we get mad at them calling us racist stuff. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like, why are we doing the same thing as them? Aren't we supposed to be better than them? If that's what you're trying to do, like, you don't tell people to hate other people. Like, you can't tell a black man that he can't be with a white woman, because what, that's going to destroy the whole black community. That doesn't make any sense. Like, to me, that's just more hate. Like, so what if that's the person he's supposed to be with? What if we go by biblical terms, that woman that is white is the rib? Because that whole thing where a man's rib is the woman that he's supposed to be with, whatever, whatever. I can't remember how it goes. But look, if that's the woman he was meant to be with, why are we telling him not to? If he loves her and she loves him, how can we tell him, well, she's not dark enough to be with you? That doesn't make any sense. We don't like that from other races, right? So why do we want to do that with ours? Like, this 2026 now, love who you want. There should be no other man telling you who to stick your Johnson in. That doesn't make any sense. Like, to me, like, that's like pocket watching. That's like, it's weird. Like, you don't need to tell people what to do. All you should say is, look, we as a people need to stick together, put our money in our own community, get good jobs, like, lawyers, doctors, whatever, and then help our communities, the communities that are, that need the help. That's what you should be saying. Something like that. Like, I mean, I'm probably butchering it, but like, look at other cultures. They tell their kids to go to school, they get into good jobs, and then they go back to their home countries and they build up their countries, right? It's like this whole thing in Jamaica, right? Jamaica is mad that the Chinese or the Asians have come there and started building stuff. But any true Jamaican would be like, well, damn, for years, nothing was happening. There's roads out there that for years never got fixed. And the Asians come in and they start building stuff. If our people didn't see the eagerness to fix the roads, why are we mad when the Asians did it? You see what I'm saying? Like, if they're willing to help make the country better, that we should be looking at it, well, why didn't we do it? If we're so mad at them, why are we not mad at our people for not doing it? Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't understand what we're going on with here. Like, we get mad at other people for doing what we should have done from the beginning. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Now, moving on. And it even goes with the Hulk Hogan thing. I grew up with Hulk Hogan. I was a Hulk Hogan fan. What he did was wrong. But, like, I mean, what he did later on in life was wrong. But it doesn't change the fact that what he did before was good. You know, we're so mad at the wrong stuff, we forget about what he did that was good. Okay, yeah, he's racist. Okay, fine. But from what you hear from a lot of people, he's done things to help, you know, black wrestlers. The same people he's racist to. But then you're mad at him for being racist, but then you're not mad at Dr. Umar Johnson for being racist to white people. You see what I'm saying here? Like, it's like, so he can't do it, but Dr. Umar Johnson can. This is my point. Like, how come we just allow, whatever, we're not even going to talk about that anymore, because honestly, it's going to start fights. You know, it's like, this is the thing that's turned into, like, before it used to be, you don't talk about religion and politics. That starts fights. Now you can't talk about, you know, racist people from cultures that talk bad about other cultures, because that starts a fight too. Because then you have people that are so stuck to that mentality that they just want to fight with other races for what? No one's even doing anything to you. Like, dude, if they're gonna stick to their own culture and support each other, only hire their own people, then that means we as a culture need to do the same. Open up our own businesses, hire our own people. Do you see what I'm saying? And then we could stop complaining about other cultures that only hire their own. We need to do the same. Open our own stuff. Stop spending money on nonsense. Try to power up the culture. Keep the money in the culture, and there you go. Like, how is that? Like, why are we hating on other people for doing what we should be doing? Anywho, so that's the Hulk Hogan thing. Like, because Hulk Hogan is like a white dude that had some racist things to say, which was wrong, but we're gonna then destroy his legacy. And I mean, it even goes to like Chris Benoit. They still say Chris Benoit, even though what he did was so bad, but his legacy lives on. But he wasn't racist, so it's not as bad. So him killing his family isn't as bad as being racist. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, it's weird. Like this, like I remember what I said. This is my opinion that I've seen. Like, I've heard people say these things. This isn't just me waking up in the morning and saying, damn, you know, this is what I think. No, I'm going by what I'm hearing and like the opinions of a lot of people that talk to me. But in conclusion about that, we need to just stop making excuses and just make moves straight up. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is when I was talking about True Achievements and me getting flack for a gaming session that I had in 2011. So if anybody was listening to that video, they probably didn't, but little backstory on it. So I hadn't gone on True Achievements for a long time, right? And I went on and I met somebody on there. Well, I met a couple people, and I was in gaming sessions, and they would look back at the feedback that's on True Achievements. Now, True Achievements has feedback for sessions that you join. People give you, you know, they'll write stuff, they'll have notes. They'll say, oh, everybody was good today, or they'll pinpoint you exactly and say, well, this person did this, and whatever. And you get like a happy face, a neutral face, a sad face, whatever, right? So there was one negative feedback with this dude, and he had said that I did something. I can't remember what it was, but it was something bad that I did, right? Like I was rude or something, right? It doesn't say specifically, but I assume I was rude or something. So I go into a gaming session the other day, and this dude was in there, and I didn't know it was this guy specifically, right? He says to me, he's like, hey, Nuff, I remember I did a session with you years ago. So I looked it up, and I'm like, dude, you know that comment that you made has gotten me a lot of trouble. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, people look back and see that and ask me what happened. And I'm like, I don't remember. It was 2011, right? And he goes, no way. He's like, dude, I don't even remember what happened. And now we're cool. You know, so like we're actually cool now. And this is a thing that's been going on with, I met someone yesterday I was in a group yesterday, and one of them said the same thing. He's like, yo, I will get hit with some nonsense where I gave some bad feedback on somebody, and then I just fix it because like, yo, like I don't even remember what the hell we did. I don't know if you can fix something from a long time ago, but like they'll do something. I don't know what they do. But my point is, look, what happened in 2011 was 15 years ago. I don't remember what happened. He doesn't remember what happened, but the feedback stays forever, right? And he wishes he could take it off. And which would be nice if he could take it off, because then it wouldn't give me that negative feedback. But he's even being the grown man, and then he said, like, look, it was probably him. I go, dude, it was probably me, because, you know, I might have been a little bit rude back then, but, you know, we were cool. Like, it was fine. Like, we don't even remember what happened. You know what I'm saying? And it's always funny to me because I don't know what I'll say on that. But then, you know what he did after? He did the feedback for the new session that we had, and he goes, hey, man, whatever I said before, it was probably my fault. I apologize. You know, no one look at this, you know, blah, blah, blah. Don't look at the old feedback because that was so long ago. And this just shows you, like, that feedback is there forever. Well, until True Achievement shuts down, right? But it's there forever. So what he said about me in 2011 will forever be on my record, which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? On my record, like I'm a criminal. Like, it is crazy, man. And the joke is, we are cool. Like, we're actually, like, you know, getting along. I have a session with him later on today. We're cool, bro. And it's like, dude, we don't even remember what happened. And what even makes it worse is that the way how we were talking, it was like we've been friends for years. Like, we didn't have an issue. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, it's like, what were we going through back then to have bad things say about each other? Like, see how people can grow and change. And, you know, like, I've changed a lot. Maybe he has too. I don't know. I'd assume he has. But, like, you know, who knows what we were going through back in 2011? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, dude, we're so, like, people look back on that and ask me questions. Like, hey, man, what happened here? I don't remember. Like, I honestly couldn't tell you. But anyways, I think that's the end of my rant for today. This is coming out on Thursday, so there'll probably be more things to talk about. But anyways, like and subscribe. Comment down below what you think, and what you say about certain things, and you know, what your opinions are, because I love to hear people's opinions, because hey, I didn't call any names. I just said what I saw in comments, right? But, you know, I'm just here speaking the truth. And that's what I heard in the session yesterday. They're like, you just tell them straight. And that's what bothers people. And I'm like, straight up, man, I don't want problems, but like, people need to take accountability for themselves sometimes and stop blaming everybody else. I mean, that's going to be another video when I talk about that more in detail, because I got a story on that one. Woo! Anyways, like and subscribe once again, and I'll see you in the next video.
Another late night chasing down the light for the crime that Nufftingz has to fight against.